candle on the table burned a gentle amber glow, lighting up the quiet things we used to think we'd know. Your shadow on the hallway moved like memory on the wall, soft and steady as the echo of a far-off robin call. The night was always kinder when you hummed a wandering tune, like the world would pause a moment just to listen with the moon. Now the floorboards speak in whispers when I walk the house alone, each step carrying the weight of everything we've grown. Yet I still find a comfort in the creak of settling wood, a reminder that the heart stays even when it feels it shouldn't, and the candle keeps on burning as the hours slowly bend, like a memory that warms you more gently at the end.
There's a song I can't remember, but I know it felt like spring. You would hum it in the kitchen as the sparrows learned to sing. I stood barefoot in the doorway just to listen for a while, feeling something in your breathing that resembled a shy smile. Seasons have a habit of revealing what is true, how the softest passing moments tend to shape the heart anew. And though the lines between us slowly shifted out of view, there's a grace in recollection that still carries parts of you.
dust upon the vinyl from the songs we used to play, melodies that filled the house in a long gone kind of way. I brush them off and listen to the crackle start again, like the sound of gentle footsteps from a long remembered friend. The curtains move in whispers when the late light filters through, painting shadows on the carpet in familiar shades of blue. And though the years have scattered all the plans we meant to keep, there's comfort in the quiet that the evening softly sweep. So I let the record wander through the spaces of the past, finding notes of understanding in the moments built to last. And the crackle keeps on humming as the night begins to grow, a reminder that the heart learns what the living never show. I woke before the daylight, the house still breathing slow, coffee warming on the counter. The quiet felt like snow. Your sweater on the back chair, your footprints by the door, little truths of how our days have lived here long before. The wind pressed on the window, soft as someone's careful hand, asking me to wander through the years we didn't plan. Gold leaves in the driveway, the old truck settling down, all the places we once talked of, still waiting in this town. And I still hear you humming when the morning feels half real, just a low and steady comfort. Only time can help reveal if the seasons keep on turning, if the daylight changes tone. I'll keep learning all the quiet ways
found the old recorder in a box beneath the stairs, the one you used to sing to when the world fell down nowhere. I pressed the worn out button and your voice came through the dust, soft and almost fragile, like a memory trust. I sat down on the carpet as the sunlight broke the floor, feeling all the tender moments you once tried to keep in store. Your melody was simple, but it held a quiet truth, that life is made of pieces we first learned to love in youth. The tape began to wander, warping gently at the end, yet somehow it grew warmer, like the comfort of a friend. And though the years have shifted how I hold the songs you made, I'm grateful for the echoes time was gentle enough to say. There was music in the hallway from a record spinning slow, and it stirred a kind of longing from a place I used to know. You would sway along the edges as the melody unwound, and I learned to read your feelings in the softness of that sound. When we spoke about tomorrow, we were speaking out of hope, tying dreams like fragile ribbons to a thin and tender rope. But the years have ways of teaching what the heart can't always see, how the things we try to capture still belong to being free. Now the record keeps on turning, though the room has changed its tune, echoing a quiet story that still warms the afternoon. And I hum along the chorus as the daylight filters through, finding comfort in the music that once felt like home with you. I wandered through the garden where the early roses grew. Their petals holding echoes of the summer spent with you. The morning felt familiar in a bittersweet kind of way, like a song I learned in childhood that I still know how to play. Your laughter used to linger in the corners of the air, floating lightly through the branches, as if placed deliberately there. Now I kneel beside the pathway where the earth feels warm and deep, thinking how our tender moments stay with us though they sleep. And even if the seasons slowly fade what once was bright, I keep finding little pieces that still glimmer in the light.
The lamp beside the armchair glows a quiet, tender gold, lighting up the stories that our younger selves once told. Your jacket on the hanger still smells faintly of the rain, like the nights we walked for hours just to ease a restless pain. The floor creaks in the hallway with a rhythm I still know, steady as the promise that we made so long ago. And though life moves uneven, like a record slightly worn, there's beauty in the skipping and the scratches time has borne. I turn the lamp down lower just to watch the shadows form, finding warmth in how the room remembers how we kept it warm. And I hum a little softly as the evening drifts away, grateful for the gentle things that choose a while to stay.
I felt much longer when I walked it late last night. Lamplight stretching like a memory, bent beneath the fading light. I paused beside the doorway where you used to leave your keys, hearing distant tender echoes woven softly in the breeze. There's a truth inside the quiet that I couldn't name before. How the heart can hold a presence even when it shuts a door. And though we lost the rhythm of the song we tried to keep, I still hum it in the evenings when the moon begins to creep. I've learned that gentle endings can be kinder than they seem, like the final glow of twilight that still warms the edges clean. And walking through the hallway as the dust settles again, I feel grateful for the comfort of remembering where we've been. porch was cool this morning when I stepped outside to breathe, and the hills were painted slowly by the sunlight through the leaves. It reminded me of Sundays when we used to waste the hours drinking coffee by the hillside as the winds played through the flowers. You always said the quiet was the truest kind of truth, something we could only learn after growing out of youth. Now I hear your gentle wisdom in the soft, unhurried air, like a voice that's still familiar even though you're not quite there. Unfolding with a patience made of gold, showing me that love grows deeper as the memory grows old. So I linger on the porch steps just to feel the morning's grace, finding pieces of your presence in the warmth upon my face. There's a letter in the drawer of your handwriting blue, talking softly of a morning when the sun felt made for two. I don't read it very often, but tonight the air felt right. Something in the way the shadows held the corners of the night. I sat beside the window as the sky grew pale and thin, wondering how our promises first learned to wear so thin. Still the moonlit rooms remember how we danced between the days, learning love in quiet gestures only time could truly phrase. Maybe we were reaching for a dream we couldn't keep. grateful for the verses that still hum me into sleep. And your letter, though it's aging, keeps a warmth I still believe. A reminder that our hearts don't forget what they receive.
Old porch board singing when the morning brushed the sky. A tender sort of welcome to the day that wandered by. Your boots beside the doorway, dust still clinging to the seams, made me think of open highways and your long forgotten dreams. The clock above the pantry ticked the rhythm of the rain, reminding me that time will pass, with or without our pain. Still I keep the letters that you wrote one August night. Ink faded, but the feeling still warm enough to light. Grows quieter with every passing year. I find a steady comfort knowing memories keep you near. So I rest upon the railing as the sunrise paints the land, trusting that the heart remembers more than we can understand.
There's a page inside my journal that I never meant to keep. Scribble lines about the morning when you kissed me, how half asleep. I was younger then and restless, chasing echoes down the street. Though your voice would always steady something trembling at my feet. The windows hum with memory when the wind begins to rise, bringing back the gentle stories hidden deep behind your eyes. I still hear you in the doorway on the nights the rain feels near, like a whisper from a distance meant for only me to hear. Time is such a tender habit of softening the sharpest part, and I've learned that letting go doesn't mean you leave the heart. So I write another entry as the lamplight settles low, finding comfort in the traces of the love we used to know.
There's a path behind the farmhouse where the grass grows tired and thin. A trail we used to wander when the autumn rolled in. I remember how the sunlight caught your laughter in the breeze, how the air felt full of stories hanging softly in the trees. The years move like the river, never running quite the same. And the banks we once relied on slowly shift without the blame. Still I walk that fading pathway every time the dusk feels near, hoping I might hear your footsteps in the rustling of the air. with each season drifting by. I hold tight to the promise that not all good things die, for the land still keeps our echoes in the warmth of fading light, and I carry them beside me as the day slips in tonight.
You always love the shoreline when the tide was drifting low. Said it felt like life was pausing just to breathe before it goes. I walked there in the evening as the sky turned muted gold, thinking how we learned to cherish what we couldn't always hold. The sand still kept our footprints in a fragile, fleeting way, reminding me that beauty lives in things we know won't stay. I listen to the water as it folded on the land, soft and almost aching, like the brush of someone's hand. And though the waves keep changing with the pull of moon and time, I find solace in their rhythm, how it steadies what was mine. So I leave the shore at twilight as the colors fade to blue, carrying the quiet comfort of a love I once knew. You left your wool coat hanging on the chair beside the fire, still holding hints of autumn and the warmth of warm desire. I traced the hem in quiet, felt the weight of what we were, a story told in glances and in things we never heard. The radio was playing as the dust pressed on the glass, one of those old drifting melodies that makes the hours pass. I remembered how you'd hum them while the evening settled in, turning ordinary moments into something soft and thin. And though the room feels colder in the way that endings do, there's a thread inside the silence that still ties me back to you. So I fold your coat more gently than the winter's early snow, letting memory find a way to hold what I can let go.
Underneath the willow branches, where the river winds slow, we carved our names in silence, in a place few people go. The bark has grown around them, as the seasons always do, locking in the simplest truth, that I once belonged with you. Evening light grows softer on the far side of the hill, casting shadows like a memory that refuses to sit still. And though the years have gathered more than either heart can hold, there's a beauty in the aging that feels tender, warm, and bold. So I wander by the shoreline when the world is turning thin, thinking how the smallest places keep the biggest feelings in. And beneath the willow branches, as the fading daylight falls, I still hear your gentle humming, moving through the river walls. where the morning settles in. I can almost hear your laughter mixing with the kettle's grin. The crumbs from yesterday's bread still rest beside the plate, small reminders of the moments we were never meant to wait. The sun climbs up the shingles, warming every place you stood, like the house is trying gently to say it understood. And I breathe the quiet deeply, let the hours drift and bend, thinking how the simplest days were the hardest ones to end. Now the world outside is changing, but the walls remember you in the way the curtains flutter when the sky turns evening blue. I sit here in the stillness, letting memory unfold, finding comfort in the warmth that never quite grows old. I found your winter jacket in the closet by the stairs, still holding faint reminders of our ordinary cares. The mornings we would stumble, half awake toward the light, laughing at the little things that made the world feel right. Now the garden's turning quiet, frost along the edge of dawn, and the birds that used to greet us have packed their voices and gone. Still the silence has a kindness soft enough to settle in, like a whisper of the moments I keep turning back again. If the road had been less winding, if the stars had aligned twice, maybe we'd be sitting here still warming up the night. but I breathe into the stillness and let memory gently roam. For every season holds a piece of what we call a home. There's a map on the table, edges curling from the years, roads we meant to follow once, now softened by the tears. I trace them in the lamplight with a quiet kind of grace, wondering how the distance changed the lines across your face. Drifts in slowly, touching everything in gold. The kettle hums a memory of stories we once told. We gathered up the seasons like postcards from the past, never knowing which of them was meant to be the last. Still the river by the hillside keeps its promise every fall to return with gentle patience, never rushing, never small. And I breathe into the stillness as the daylight starts to bloom, finding traces of our laughter